Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely day. Just realized I need to make sure this is running properly. Should be good. Maybe. Alright. Okay. Okay, let's try that again. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a lovely day. Oh, good day, Alex. One second, I just realized I had to do something. Frick. Hey, Ken, how you doing? My day's going well. It's going better than it was yesterday. Yesterday was a little rough, but today, much better. I really need to read through these. I don't like the way they look right now. They're bugging me. Okay, that works. Sounds like a really good can of Pringles. I missed that. I misread that as the Pringles looked at me funny and tasted like a dead rat. Which you have to say is absolutely 10 times worse, but also way more funny.
You got me hypnotized by the way you look at me.
I believe they weren't Pringles. I do believe that it was actually a dead rat. Excellent salesmanship for the purchase of a soul. You did it. Yeah, no, you're fine. Don't you wanna be with me? I got me hypnotized the way you look at me. Don't you lie, do you know your body's key? Tell me your pretty girlfriend, who is she? Maybe the rat's name was Pringles. That's where the confusion is come in. You should automatically mistrust anyone who offers to give you stuff in exchange for souls, just in the future. I mean, you could try and care in it, but you know, being a dude, you don't have the full caring capacity. I don't believe. Get yourself a refund. I'm just out of know if you wanna be with me. If you don't you lie, do you know your body's At least it wasn't Remy. Mood. Awake, am I the only one? Do I know any Spanish? I can read Spanish better than I can speak it. I don't know if that will make any sense, but I took Latin when I was in high school, so oddly enough, my Spanish capacity, like any other Romance language, is best when I'm reading or listening. Like, if somebody's talking, I can usually pick up what the hell's going on. In Romance languages, anyway. Tried to take German in university. That was a shit show. Honestly, I should have just asked for my money back when it came to that fucking German teacher. But my thing is, if you're gonna teach somebody a language that's meant to be like spoken, like if you're gonna teach a language that's not meant to be spoken, whatever. But if you're gonna teach a language that's meant to be spoken, and you insist on speaking in that language in order to teach it, which I think is the dumbest thing ever, but regardless, you should be able to pronounce it clearly, ideally not have an accent, and not mumble terribly into your chest to the point where your microphone that's supposed to be amplifying your voice doesn't even pick up the language, the words at all. The level of functional nightmare that my German teacher had. First off, she wasn't a native German speaker, which, you know, would definitely help with the conversation. But the thing is, she is from Britain. I'm Canadian. She had a British accent when she spoke English and a British accent when she spoke German. But she was born in, I assume, India. So her English had a strong Indian accent. And her German had a strong British accent. So nothing she said calculated in my tiny brain. And she also didn't learn German in Germany. She learned German in Britain. From English people, like people who spoke English primarily. So, yeah, no, I didn't understand a goddamn word that was coming out of her mouth the entire time. And I don't know if it makes me a terrible person to be like, I am mad that I didn't learn anything in her class. But the thing that I did learn from that class, because I was having so much trouble, I actually went to student services and said, is there some way I can get a note taker? Because I am not learning a goddamn thing in this class because I don't understand the teacher. They were like, well, the only way that you can, like, get a note taker is if you prove that you have a disability. So I was like, oh, well, I guess I could get tested. And then I found out a whole bunch of disabilities. So that's what I learned in my German class. Yeah, exactly. Like, if she had been slowing down her speech and, like, enunciating things properly, which I've had that with other classes. Hell, my Latin teacher enunciated things very clearly, which is why I understood Latin so well. But yeah, between having like two completely differently accented languages under her belt, it was so hard to understand her. But also, it turns out I have CAPD, which, or I guess it's called APD now, because I guess I don't need the central part anymore. But yeah, auditory processing disorder, also known as yeah, everything that people say out loud just sounds like noise, and then your brain translates it. But that will not happen if the person doesn't speak clearly to begin with. But I do much better when I can read, like when I can read subtitles, for exactly that reason, because I really like to be able to internalize what I'm hearing by seeing the words at the same time, because that's how my brain translates all spoken words. It gets translated into written words in my head. Please wait when my brain generates subtitles for what you just said. Hey, Butterscotch Wolf. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do about the design on the arms. Kinda tempted to reduce the amount of bob eyes that are on the arms, but fair enough. I'm glad you said that, because I was about to be like, oh, spill the tea. That's absolutely fine, don't worry about it. Okay. Yes? No, I mean, it's all up to your comfort level. I shouldn't have even said that, to be fair, because you did say you weren't interested in talking about it, and that's totally cool. Also, I just realized I'm streaming, so like if I do get the tea and it gets back to that person, like I don't want to be like called out for bullying them, even if they might deserve it. So let's just say they're a terrible person because they made my friend sad, and I'm on your side about it 100%, regardless of like anything else. Unless you're a terrible person, in which case I take that totally back. I gotta cover all my bases. I don't think you're a terrible person. Probably not. As a note, I'm teasing. If that teasing is unwelcome, totally valid, I won't do that again. Love it when my brain actually decides to be nice and actually processes the data I want it to process. It's so nice. I love it. Oh, I would never pass the buck. We don't pass the buck in our system. there may be a specific person who does a thing, but it will be my response. If William does something offensive, totally valid. It's and you get hurt by it. I'm not gonna say somebody else did that, and that I don't have to bear the responsibility, because like we only get one body, we only get one vote, and we only get one responsibility. So if one of us hurts somebody's feelings, it counts as all of us, unfortunately, because that's how the real world works. I can't be like, well, you know, it was a different person in my head who called you a bad word, so like, you can't blame me. Because that really is a douchey thing to do. Also throw somebody else under the bus who actually might not have done it themselves, right? But I know there are some systems, and also I should say that if a little does do something perhaps, say inappropriate, but like the only time I would actually be like, that wasn't me, that was somebody else in my system, is if specifically if one of our littles says a whole bunch of like weird stuff that a kid would say. That would probably be something that would require an explanation. I said little is an innocent being and would not say anything inappropriate, but it still may be a bit of a shock / upsetting to some folks to be here and all of a sudden they're hearing what sounds like a little kid talking. That would probably warrant an explanation at the very least. Okay, that's some weird bullshit behavior, Butterscotch Wolf. That's uncool. I was gonna say I don't know if it's gonna compare to like the weird shit that I've been through just having been in the YouTuber Twitch streamer for a while. I was on Twitter a fair bit trying to do communications with folks, but I gave up on that partly because Twitter dissolved into an unadulterated hell that needs to just frickin', I don't know, get way backed and cease to exist. I mean, I think you can block people from your channel so that you can just be like, no more of that. I'm all done with that. That's a all done thing. That doesn't stop him from going there on another account, but it does sort of stop him from like being reminded you exist because he's subscribed to you. But yeah, that's some asshattery. Yeah, that's definitely uncool. Also, I wouldn't believe he'd pay. Nobody pays some rando online $100 to harass a streamer. I'd probably say put the money in my account first, and then block him on every channel. Or I'd think about it real hard, then say no, and then be like, probably farming for content. I could remember that I need to actually hit the make a clip button. That's like the 90% of like everybody I know is like doing super well. And I gotta remind myself that I literally don't remember if I've ever said anything clever. Like, I don't remember. Occasionally I'll remember and I'll hit the clip button right away, but I will not remember later. So if it comes across like, why don't you have like more content? I'm like, I'm not funny, and they're like, well, you say funny things. I'm like, do I? I don't know. I sit here things happen, and then it's time for me to go to bed. That's my experience. I never remember when anything's happening. I mean, if you have receipts, like if you have the message where he said, "I'll pay you $100 to harass this other streamer," then like I would be like, "Okay, here's my receipts." Like, but yeah, I'd probably just try and block him on every like bit of like way I can to just avoid the situation so that you don't have to deal with it anymore. And I don't know how to fix it. Keep running, but it's a real ticket, and it's so sweet, but it's thinking. Well, there you go. You can, what I would do is I would turn on my OBS. Like, I assume you have OBS, but if you have some other thing similar to OBS, use that. Like, capture your screen and be like, here it is. I will scroll down to the comment and open it, and there it is. And then post that as proof. That way he can't be like, well, you just edited a screenshot. Be like, I wonder, like, all of a sudden I'm like, I wonder how much money someone have to offer me to harass somebody. And I'm like, probably not much, but hear me out. What I would do is I would contact the person, provided they weren't actually a real douche. If they're a real douche, this doesn't apply. But if someone's like, please harass this person that I don't like, and it turns out they're just like a totally normal person that this guy doesn't like, I would contact them and be like, do you want to farm this dude for content? And, you know, your device is at risk of being out of date. Stop flashing me this. I'm not gonna update my computer. You can't fucking make me. Do realize that, what's the word? Drama is exponential. So only farm as much content as you're willing to put up with the, like, reverse harassment sort of thing. Like, only take on the fire that you can put out. It's so you don't stress yourself. Like, everybody's a bit stressed and stressy, but yeah. I would say only go with what you know you can handle. Or at least have plans to escape. Mass blocks and whatnot. Some people do this really, I find it really, what's the word? Reprehensible. Fucking garbage people do this thing where they create this content that's designed to piss people off, and then if people get pissed off by it, they then farm the people who got pissed off for more content in order to make more content, which of course pisses more people off, and they just let it compound. And I guess I'm just not enough of a, I don't know the right word, because it would be ableist to say, like, psychopath. Like, I'm not enough of a psychopath to just do that and find it amusing. But asshole, I guess. I'm not enough of an asshole to farm content that way. To, like, specifically outrage a group of people and then push that, and then push it again, and then push it again. And, like, I can't imagine the people who do that and feel justified doing it. I actually got briefly suckered in, and then I realized I could use the situation to, like, be an informative educator type person. But there's this bitch, and you probably know who it is if I just say there's this bitch. But there's this bitch who basically makes outrage content. That's all she does. That's all she's ever done. And one of her favorite things to do is to pretend she has some random mental illness and then make videos making fun of people with that mental illness and then let people just absolutely fly wild in the comments. And at one point in time, her pick of the day was dissociative identity disorder. And at first I was super pissed off. But then I realized people need to be educated on the topic anyway. So on every video that I found addressing it, I was just like, here's how this works. Regardless of whether or not this individual has it, recognize that some people may actually have a system that does function similar to this. So even if she's doing a bad representation of it, and she's only doing it for clickbait, and she's only doing it for outrage media, calm down and recognize that if you see somebody who has DID and they have sort of similar issues where, you know, the host names everybody in the system, for example, was one of the things. Oh yeah, that's always fake. If somebody says I've named everybody in the system, that's always fake. In theory, there could be a system where that is true. For the host, or say a gatekeeper, or someone like in a centralized system. There's somebody who literally, whenever someone new gets made, they just get a name from that person who does names, perhaps. Damn! Oh my god. So the guy was doing death threats and doxing threats, and then got banned, got mad about it, told and basically accused someone of being responsible, like solely responsible for it. Tried to pay you to harass that person, and now they're like, yeah, no, it's fine. That's so fucking funny. Oh my god. That's why children shouldn't be allowed on the fucking internet. Yep. I had a funny feeling. I was like, is this an anti-furry thing? Yes, it is! Sorry, internal conversation. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I think I'll do this.